Hello, I'm Carl Crummel and I'm here with my wife Beth, and we've been residents of CA for a little over 6 years now. And we thought things were great until 2020 hit and we went into isolation and couldn't do all of the things we really enjoyed doing. Well, one of them was playing cards, and we've solved that problem, and we want to give you a demonstration tonight about how you can also play cards or other board games or whatever, and do it safely in the confines of your own home while the other players are in their own homes. So if you bear with us, we'll give you a demonstration of what we mean. The first thing you need is a device to be your conferencing tool. And in this case, I have a laptop, and this laptop has, fortunately, an HDMI cable that will plug into it. So I plug it here, and you can do this on almost any device. Even iPads, you can use an HDMI cable with a Lightning to HDMI connector. And so in any event, I'm now connected to my television with the screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a program, one of the many programs called Whereby. Okay, now that we're linked up to the television so that we have the big screen in front of us, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a program called Whereby. And I'm going to join another couple who live here in the neighborhood. And they're going to answer my knock when I knock on the door. I'm going to go here with the cursor and knock on the door, and then they're going to join us. And so we'll have 4 of us on the program. Here we go. Now let me introduce Art and Sandy Lloyd. They're neighbors about 6 doors away from us, but they're in their house in isolation, and we're in our house in isolation. So everybody is safe. COVID is not an issue for us. So the video program that we're using here is called Whereby, and you can see that all 4 of us are going to be on there once I get over into my chair to play. Let me go from here and say that each of us now need a device. For example, Beth and I each have an iPad, and Art and Sandy, you use an Android tablet or do you use a laptop?
I use a tablet and Sandy uses a computer.
Okay, so there you go. I think all of these have touch screens, which is pretty valuable when you're playing games. So what you want is a touch screen device as a playing tool. So the net of it is each site needs a conferencing device or computer, and each individual needs their own playing device.
It doesn't have to be a touchscreen now. They can even play with a clicker.
Well, that's true. You can even play with a mouse or a clicking device. Okay, now we're going to select our game. Now Beth is going to show you the game that we've chosen. We choose a program called playingcards.io. And this program we choose because it has both a list of games that you can play that are already designed and fully ready to go, or you can make a game from just about any game that you've played cards with, from any 52 deck or 52 plus 2 joker deck of cards. All standard playing cards can be used, and you can even use a partial deck like in the game of euchre, or what we'll show you a little bit later, a multiple deck game and with jokers. We're going to demonstrate 3 things. We're going to demonstrate a very easy game that's built in called Crazy Eights, and it's a great one to play with the grandchildren. I think they'll enjoy it. Then we'll move on to demonstrate a more complex game that Art and Beth put together that's called Hand and Foot. Now some of you may know Hand and Foot from its being played in the community. But it's a much more complicated game. It takes 5 decks of cards, 270 cards, because the jokers are included as well. And yet, we'll show you that you'll be able to play that. And finally, we'll move to a board game that's called Marbles that Art put together initially. And it's a combination of Sorry, the kids' game Sorry, and the game Parcheesi. So it's an interesting game. So why don't we start first with a demonstration of Crazy Eights. Let me ask Beth if she could open up Crazy Eights, and each of us will go into playingcards.io and open up the Crazy Eights game.
I've gone into playingcards.io, and this is a screen that comes up. And I'm going to scroll down, and as you probably saw while Carl was talking, all these things are on here. I'm going to go to Crazy Eights, and I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to say start the game. And then I'm going to enter the room. And then I'm going to click on my browser bar up here, if I can get to it. Why is it? There it goes. And I'm going to click it again. And those last 6 numbers are the numbers that I need to give to Art and Sandy and Carl so they can join me in this game. So it's going to be 2, 6, 3, M is in Mary, Y is in yesterday, H is in hotel. So now if everybody has the code, we should all be in there. So this is the Crazy Eights game. And we're going to each take down 5 cards. So if Carl wants to take down 5 cards, I can't see where they're going.
I have 5 cards.
And I'm going to take 5 cards down, and you can see they're going into my hand the same way Carl can see his, I can see mine. And now Sandy and Art are taking their 5.
Okay, so everybody has 5 cards now.
So if everybody has 5 cards, now we can start playing. So we flip this over, and if you know how Crazy Eights plays, Carl's going to go first.
Okay, I play the ace of clubs.
And then Sandy has to either play a club or an ace, and Art has to do the same, and then I would do the same. And then we just play around until it's done. So you're playing the game, and whose turn is it?
Right.
See, we can talk to one another just as if we're in the same room.
I'm drawn because I don't have one of them.
Oh, he's drawing because he doesn't have any.
And you have to keep drawing till you get something.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. But we don't need to show them the whole game of
No.
Crazy Eight.
I think that will give you the idea of a simple game that all you do is pick up and play by the very standard rules that you can find in any list of rules of card games.
Yeah.
Now we're going to demonstrate hand and foot. It's a far more complex game, on the screen especially. It takes 5 decks of cards, and Art and Beth had to actually build this from scratch because it wasn't one of their built-in programs. But Playing Cards I.O. does let you build your own games, and this will give you an example of the opposite extreme of Crazy Eights. So with that, let Beth show you where we're going.
Okay, this is our hand and foot game that we've set up. And if any of you have played hand and foot, you know it takes 5 decks of cards. So it takes a while to shuffle, it takes a while to deal. The beauty of this game is that it will automatically shuffle them for you, and it will automatically recall them, and it will automatically deal. So we're going to press deal, and you'll see we each got cards. So I'm going to pull mine down into my hand.
Okay, and I'm the last one. I'm going to pull my hand down. You see my hand disappearing, but nobody sees what I have in my hand because I have a white bar across the bottom, just like Beth, Art, and Sandy all do.
So that was the hand that we dealt, and now I'm going to deal the foot. There it goes.
Okay.
So there's the foot being dealt, and that'll be there until we're ready to play. So then we just play as we normally do. Here's the first card over. It's 9 of spades, and I can take it or not, and we're not going to explain to you the rules of the game because I think that might bore you. But at least it shows that you can do hand and foot on this too, or any custom game that you want to set up.
And notice 270 cards are being used right now. So it's 5 full decks plus all the jokers. So it's a big complex game, and that shows you some of the flexibility this program has. I think now the last item we're going to show you, the game of marbles, will show you even more flexibility. Now we're moving on to the game of marbles. This game is a board game that is a hybrid of Sorry and Parcheesi. And I'm going to let Art describe how this is played.
'Cause he set
Art,
it up.
if you would take it.
All right, in this game, the object is to move your pieces from the home place all the way around to the start or the end gating. And you see they're all color coded. You got the yellow, black, blue, and green. And what you do, there's two deals up here. First time you start out, you deal 5 cards. After that, you deal 4 cards. This is a game for 4 people. We also have the same game for 6. So first I'm going to hit the dial 5. And you'll notice that they went into the black's got their cards, green got their cards, yellow has their cards, blue got their cards. I'm going to be blue. Now I'll be yellow. Somebody already put the blues down. So I'm going to pull my yellow cards down, and then the green will pull down. Sandy pull down the green. Carl, you pull down the black. Now everybody has their own cards. The way to get out is you have to have either a king or an ace, and in this case a joker. We got 54 cards. This is a different game. So if I go first, I pull out the joker, discard it, and I take my blue one and put down on the starting point. And then we just go around. After we play these 5 cards, we play 4 cards. The idea is to get all my blue ones home. And this is a partnership game. I'm playing with green. Green has to do the same thing. When we get all of our cards home for the other team, for the yellow and black, we win. So the next time we would deal 4 cards, then we pull them down. And so on and so on.
Okay, so it's a pretty straightforward game once you've created it. Art put a lot of hours in creating the dots and putting them in the right place and making it go around, and Beth put in the colors on the pieces and the colors on the cards and the names. So I mean, it's a team effort to put this together, and it works great. So here you've seen 3 different games. And Sandy and Beth and I will be playing against Art and Sandy. Let's bring this up close. Beth, go ahead and take your seat, and we'll show them what the playing really looks like. This would be how we play. Beth and I would be in our seats, and we would have the screen up, so it's like Art and Sandy are right here. We generally would have our tea and cookies with us as we're playing, so we have a snack.
Wine.
Or wine. And we have a great evening this way. So we hope we've introduced you to a concept that can be of value to you, that you can use. We think, in summary, this is a safe way to play cards or other types of games during the isolation and the quarantine. It lets us play cards with friends and family and around the world. Beth and I are able to play games with our grandsons in Wellington, New Zealand, our granddaughter in Chicago, and Art and Sandy just 6 houses away up the street.
And they play with their grandkids who live in Corner.
Right. And more than 2 groups can play. It's really a function of your individual video conferencing program that you choose, how many different people could be, or sites could be involved in the game. So you have a lot of capability. And the interesting thing is this is going to be here even after COVID, and in many ways I think it will offer some really exciting ways to pass time with remote relatives. You'll feel as if you're in the same room as the other players and can chat about just anything you would, what's going on over in Piedmont Hall, wherever that is. I think I've forgotten. And it will also be available to play any hour, day or night. So if you have any questions, just drop any one of the 4 of us an email. We're all in the CA directory. And we hope you've enjoyed this as much as we enjoy playing this game. Thank you, and have a good night.
Bye.